Boxing Ego here. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon on the top of your screen to get notified when the latest new content drops. What up, fight world? It's your boy Ego and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you guys smash the like button, also subscribe. May 6th it goes down, Canelo Alvarez versus Chavez Jr. Looking forward to the fight. Both fighters, I didn't realize how much they have a disdain or dislike for each other, because every time they do an interview, neither one of them is saying favorable things. Now, Chavez Jr. is in Mexico training. Nacho Beristain said at one point him and Chavez got into it over the location of the training camp, and I guess Chavez wanted to leave or something rather, and he almost left the Chavez camp. So it's not necessarily a good sign, but it looks like they worked it out. Chavez and Nacho are still paired up right now, but all the camp drama and camp struggles you should probably keep. You only want, in a big fight like this, you don't want any chinks in your armor to show, from my view. So I think I would keep all that stuff mum and on the hush, on the DL, until at least after the fight. But Chavez Jr., he said, you've seen at the beginning, if you don't speak Spanish, I'm going to kind of paraphrase for you what Chavez Jr. was saying. He also spoke to ESPN and said a lot of the same things on ESPN Deportes. Basically, what his problem is, he's saying that Canelo's side and their team, they get mad and say I'm talking nonsense or I'm talking bullshit, but I'm actually speaking fact, and they're mad, so they're saying it's nonsense, but it's really not. And he's going on to say I could say a ton of things about him, but the fact of the matter is, he said he didn't belong at 160. His body wasn't ready. You guys remember when Canelo was saying, oh, I'll move up when I want. He was fighting at 155. Most people, including me, believe he was tapping himself a little bit to make the 154 or 155 mark, because his body was probably outgrowing the division. And through it all, he gave up his belt to Gennady Golovkin. He says, I'm not going to deal with these artificial deadlines, when he was supposed to be negotiating with Golovkin. He had like 15 days. Golovkin was his mandatory. He beat Cotto and inherited Cotto's problems. He knew Golovkin would be his mandatory. And in that sequence, in that chain of events, he gave up his belt. So that's what Chavez Jr. is talking about. And not only did he give up his belt, but he fought AMIR, who was a person not even in the junior middleweight division, hadn't fought at 154, let alone 155. He was a welterweight with 3 fights. So I think Chavez Jr., from what he said in multiple interviews, he kind of looks at Canelo as like this like prima donna and weight bully. But the funny thing is, some people say the same thing about Chavez Jr. Like Sergio Martinez, much smaller, Andy Lee, guys like that. Brian Vera, definitely smaller. So both of these guys have had stuff and situations in their career where they were pretty much the A side in that equation, and they called the shots, and they were considerably bigger on fight night. But that's what Chavez Jr. basically had to say, is you gave up your belt to Triple G and it wasn't admirable. That's why a lot of people lost respect for you, and you fought AMIR. So he said, the stuff I'm saying, you can get mad at it, but it's not BS. So I want to know what you guys think. May 6th, it should go down. Again, these two, for whatever reason, they have a lot to say about the other person. This fight is taking place at a catchweight of 164.5. I got an Ego Weight Watcher video coming up shortly. An updated picture of Canelo, definitely in shape. Chavez Jr. was flexing in the sauna about a week and a half ago. He's in shape. This should be a good fight. Now, one of the things that make fights like this interesting is just because the weight is a huge part of this fight. I cannot stress it enough, because you got a guy who's, first of all, it didn't look like this fight would ever happen, because career-wise, they were going in different directions. You got a guy in Chavez Jr. who has had ups and downs, peaks and valleys in his career, and weight has been a significant one of those, a significant portion of the valleys, I guess you could say, of his career. And it's a guy who's big, and we're questioning, a lot of fans are like, can he make 164.5 and be good on fight night? And then you have Canelo, who kind of, what Chavez is saying, you were fighting guys like Matthew Hatton, and he was basically saying that Chavez Jr. in that interview you guys seen. He was basically saying that Chavez Jr., or excuse me, Canelo has been kind of, his looks and stuff has granted him positions and situations, being in good with the WBC family or whatnot. They put together fights like Matthew Hatton with smaller guys and stuff like that. So it sounds like, to paraphrase, long story short, sounds like Chavez Jr. believes that his family name, the Chavez family name, was built on really boxing. People liked his dad, and that's what grew the whole thing. But he feels like kind of Canelo has been afforded different opportunities and kind of spoon-fed a little bit. And it's an interesting fight. Like I said, weight is a huge dynamic. You got a guy who's big, and the question is, can he comfortably make 164.5? There's a pound. Every pound he goes over is $1 million, which is crazy. You know what I mean? He'll fuck around and have no purse if he's too much over. And then you have a guy in Canelo who was staying down at 154, 155, coming off of a hand injury. His very first fight, he's moving up 10.5 pounds to fight the bigger guy. And I really cannot think of a time, maybe you guys can, but I can't think of a time where somebody was significantly bigger than Canelo. You know what I mean? Not just height, but also mass, and they just looked a lot bigger than him. You know what I mean? There's been a couple guys maybe a little bit taller, like Austin Trout, but Austin Trout is not the biggest puncher at 154, right? You look at Liam Smith, pretty unproven. He was taller at least. Well, a lot of other guys like Josecito, taller, but he's a career 140 pounder who had one fight with Victor Ortiz and upset him and broke his jaw, then got thrown into the Canelo sweepstakes and got it. You know what I mean? Matthew Hatton, Ryan Rhodes, Floyd, all these guys were noticeably smaller. Even Carlos Baldomir, he was like 40, 41 years old, so he was aging, but he looked kind of small. So it's going to be interesting. Weight is a huge portion, but like I said, Canelo looks like he's in damn good shape, and then Chavez Jr. looks like he's coming down. I just got to see how Chavez Jr. looks dropping these additional pounds, because he already looks in shape. You know what I mean? So he still has more weight to lose. They said he was like 173 or 5, so he still has like 10 pounds from those pictures. So it's going to be interesting. May 6th, it should be lit in Las Vegas. Let me know if you're ordering the pay-per-view, what fights on the undercard are you looking forward to, or are you just looking forward to the main event? And do you want to see the winner fight Gennady Golovkin? I think it's only right. Golovkin waited out the Billy Joe Saunders opportunity in June for whatever reason. He's sore, or maybe he just wants to see who's going to win this fight. But that's the situation. Let me know what you guys think of Chavez Jr. in his recent comments ripping Canelo Alvarez. Drop it in the comment section. Make sure you share the video, like the video as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego signing off. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future.